Hello and welcome to what was originally going to be called Coulter's Kitchen because it's almost alliteration. Sounds like it. It ain't really. But it's in fact going to be the CastAway's Kitchen because that's the channel name. Hello and welcome to my kitchen, which is in fact about 10 feet away from where I normally do my videos over there. Now, if the fact that I'm in my kitchen wasn't enough of a clue, this is going to be a cooking video. Now, I always intended on doing some sort of cooking element on my channel at some point just to get me to cook more. I can cook, I'm just too lazy, and after a hard day's work I just bung in a ready meal or eat a takeaway, as many of us do. I was trying to find some sort of niche to make, the whole cooking element a bit unique, some sort of gimmick. I've thought about using some sort of like recipes in video games, but there's Eurogamer, have Johnny Chiodini doing something like that, and to be honest, he's probably done about 90% of the video game recipes I know already. I thought possibly expanding that just into general pop culture type recipes, but there isn't really that much more, and most of it has been done. So I'm not trying to bring things down here, but 2 months ago about, my dad did die. He was a really good cook, much better cook than I am, so I just thought, what the hell, this could be kind of me trying to pass on his legacy, even though cooking was probably the least important thing he ever did. But yeah, this is more for my dad. Today's recipe, on that note, is going to be the first recipe that my dad taught me to cook when I was 15-16 years old. It has changed a little bit. I've altered it a tiny bit, not much, it's not a massive amount to do on the recipe, as you'll see. This is me going to cook a Chicken Tikka Masala. Okay, so for this recipe you will need some chicken, obviously. We've got some tikka paste here at the back, natural yogurt, low fat, ginger, we'll be using about an inch of that, 1 garlic clove, some tomato puree, coriander and chilli. You can use fresh ones, I've got ground stuff here because I don't use it enough to justify buying it up. I've also got some turmeric, which is not for the chicken tikka itself, that's to be added to the rice towards the end. There is also rice, which I ingeniously forgot to purchase, so I will be nipping out to the co-op to get that. Addendum: you also need an onion. Just the one, but it's required. Now, first things first, we're going to make a small marinade. So for this, we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of tikka paste, 4 tablespoons of natural yogurt. 1, 2, 3, that's 4-ish. So I'm going to give that a quick mix. So you end up with something that looks kind of like that. And now it's just a matter of taking out the chicken and cubing it. Now, this slice of chicken has got a particularly large amount of fat on it. If you end up with a piece of chicken with lots of fat, just slice it off. And once you're satisfied with your cubing abilities, place the chicken into the marinade. I'm going to try and do this one-handed, which may be a bit of an ask. God, slide, there we go. And of course, always remember to wash your hands after handling chicken. Now it's just a matter of making sure all those chicken bits are nicely coated in the sauce. Now once the chicken is nicely coated like this, we just put it into the fridge. My fridge is full. We make space in the fridge and then we place the marinade in there just to let the chicken marinate. Now this is a dish that doesn't need to marinate for a particularly long period. 20 minutes would probably be enough. As it happens, it is now 5 to 12 in the morning. I'm not going to eat this until this evening, so it's probably going to get a good 6 hours of marinating. Okay, for this bit I thought it was very important that I get my hat, which is actually an overcooked hat. I have it, I'm not going to wear it, might as well use it for this. So now we're going to cook up the chicken that's been marinating, but first we're going to prepare the sauce. And to prepare the sauce we're going to chop up this onion, grate ginger, and also chop up a bit of garlic. Arm's getting a little tired now. Okay, so whilst I was chopping up the garlic, the onion and grating the ginger, I put a little bit of oil on the pan on a low heat, and now I'm going to add all that into the pan. Once again, one-handed. Let's see if I can do this. Go in. Some of that missed. Okay, so we make sure all that gets coated in the oil, and we'll leave all that on a low heat whilst we move on to the chicken. So here is the marinated chicken, and we're going to put the chicken onto these skewers and then onto that pan and into that grill. Now of course, when piercing the chicken onto the skewers, make sure you do not stab your fingers, because that would be bad. It's also recommended that you actually use wooden skewers and not a metal skewer as I'm doing, because you do have to turn it whilst it's on the grill, and metal conducts heat rather nicely. I don't have any wooden skewers, so I'm just going to have to stick with this. And now we wash our hands. So there we are on the chicken skewers. You don't actually have to use the skewers, but it does make things a bit easier when you're turning them in the oven. Or grill, as the case may be. So that's going into the grill. And that'll take about 15 minutes in there, turning occasionally. Whilst that happens, here's some rice. I'm just going to add a bit of salt and also some turmeric. The rice goes on, you get into this nice little soup thing, and we'll bring that to the boil. So at this stage we're going to add 3 more tablespoons of the tikka paste, this way, and also a little bit of the chili powder. Stir all that in. That's what the little mix is looking like at the moment. So I'm going to give the onion, garlic, ginger mix another 5 minutes, turning the chicken every 5 minutes or so, and then stirring the rice. That's about it for now. That's been going for about 5 minutes now, so I'm going to add a little bit of tomato puree. I've put in about a glass worth of water. We'll stir that. Now we have to bring that to the boil and simmer that for about 15 minutes. So both the rice and the sauce are now simmering away. So I've just turned down the heat a bit. And in a minute we'll thicken up that sauce by adding some cream, some low fat yoghurt, and then throw in the chicken as well. Okay, I probably put the rice on a bit too soon because that's looking like it's getting to the stage where it's pretty much done. So, not to panic, what we're going to do is we're going to get the rice into the sieve. Going to quickly run a bit of cold water over it. Now I've just set the kettle off to boil. In a bit I'll pour the boiling water over the rice, leave the rice in the sieve just on the pot, on the hob on a low heat, and that'll keep it nice and warm and stop it from going all soggy. I probably shouldn't have put the rice in until I added the water to the curry mix. Lessons learned, hey? Now the chicken is just about done in the grill, so what we're going to do now is put in some of the yogurt into the curry mix, which will thicken up that sauce, and then we'll add the chicken bits into the sauce. So as before, it's about 4 tablespoons of the yogurt. I'll also at this stage add a bit of the coriander. That's kettle boiled. Give that a nice stir. And now we get the chicken out of the oven. And that's how them chicken pizzas are looking right now. Now my oven glove looks like that. Not good for dexterity. You can use folded up kitchen paper to grip this, but I've got a bit of asbestos fingers and I can just about manage that. So I'm going to have to put the camera down for this bit. As I'm a bit of a bad example for health and safety, and I'll just pull these chicken pieces all into the sauce. We'll stir all that in. And that is how our mix is looking right now. So about 15 minutes like this, and we'll bring it back up to the boil and then simmer for 15 minutes. And now I'm going to get my rice back on. So not an ideal situation, but there's the rice. There's a bit of water below that. I've poured the boiling water through it, and that'll keep it nice and warm. The rice looks decent enough. Okay, and the chicken's looking ready now. Now along with the rice, it's time to get it onto that plate. Okay, here we go. We just get all that rice out. And now and there you have it, Chicken Tikka Masala on a bed of rice. Now if I'm honest, I could have thickened up the sauce a bit more and been a bit more generous with the yoghurt when I added that in. But it'll taste alright. So let's just give it a thumbs up.